I used to be a Keller Williams agent. I was producing, I was capping, I thought I was doing everything right. Then I sat down and ran my actual P&L, and I realized I was handing over tens of thousands of dollars every single year for a logo and an office I barely walked into. If you're at Keller Williams right now and you've been curious about Real Brokerage, I'm going to show you exactly how the two models compare. Not with hype, with math, and with my own story because I lived it. My name is Diane Needle. I'm a full-time agent and team leader with Real Brokerage in Sharon, Massachusetts. I've been with Real for 5 years. Before Real, I was at Keller Williams, and before that, Coldwell Banker. So I've been inside these models. I know what they cost, and I know what they don't tell you. Let's get into the numbers. And if you're the kind of agent who makes decisions with a spreadsheet and not a sales pitch, subscribe. I put out new breakdowns like this every week. The cost comparison at Keller Williams was on a 70-30 split. My cap was about $21,000. On top of that, there was a 6% royalty fee that capped at $3,000 a year. That was my office. But here's the thing about Keller Williams that nobody explains when you're inside it. Every market center is a franchise. Your cap, your fees, even your office culture can be completely different from the KW down the road. My cap was $21,000. I've talked to agents at other KW offices paying as high as $43,000 to $45,000, depending on their market. So, when someone says KW has a great cap model, the honest answer is it depends on which KW you're in. And most agents don't even realize that until they start asking around. At Real, it's the same everywhere. 85-15 split, $12,000 cap, no royalty fee, no franchise variation. Everyone's on the same playing field. That's one of the things I love about Real, the transparency. I can pull up my app right now, go to any closed deal, and see every single line item that made up my net check. The cap contribution, any transaction fees, my stock purchase plan if I opted in, my donation to the One Real Impact Fund, it's all right there itemized in black and white. I can tie out my net in about 10 seconds, and I'm proud of that. Because at KW, I didn't even know what was coming out of my check half the time, and I was a top producer. I should have known better. And here's what really gets me. When I sit down with KW agents now and ask them, do you know what your desk fees are? Do you know what your monthly office charges are? Do you know what they're taking out of every check? A lot of them have no idea. They close a deal, they get excited about the check, and they don't pay attention to the money that came out of it. My old office used to charge me for copies in 2020. So let's put the full picture together for a producing agent doing $500,000 in GCI. At KW, with a $21,000 cap, $3,000 royalty, $6,000 in desk fees, and transaction fees, I was paying over $30,000 a year. At Real, with a $12,000 cap and roughly $10,000 in transaction fees, I'm at about $22,000. Over 5 years, that's over $100,000 in savings, just from switching where I hang my license. What about KW profit share? I know some of you are thinking, but KW has profit share. I get it. That was one of the reasons I joined KW in the first place. And honestly, it was a step in the right direction from Coldwell Banker. Here's the reality. Profit share at KW is based on the profitability of your local office, not the company, your specific franchise. And a lot of offices don't generate much profit, especially in slower markets. Some agents get meaningful checks. A lot of agents get very little. At Real, revenue share works differently. You earn a percentage of the company dollar from agents you attract, and it doesn't matter where they are because there are no offices. The model is simpler, more predictable, more transparent, and in my experience, significantly more profitable. And here's something most agents don't know. Revenue share at Real is willable. If something happens to me, my revenue share doesn't disappear. I can will it to my spouse or my heirs. That's been the case for a few years now. Try finding that at Keller Williams. The equity gap. This is the part that changed everything for me, and it's the part KW simply doesn't have an answer for. Keller Williams does not offer stock ownership to its agents. There is no mechanism for you to own a piece of the company you're helping build. At Real, you earn stock when you cap, when you attract agents, through the stock purchase plan, and through the Elite Agent Award. In 5 years, I've built a stock portfolio worth between $250,000 and $400,000, depending on the market. That's wealth I built just by doing my job, selling real estate in Sharon, Massachusetts. At Keller Williams, after 5 years of the same work, I would have had zero stock value, zero equity, same production, same hours, nothing to show for it beyond my commission checks. That was the single biggest factor in my decision to leave. Not the split, not the fees. The fact that every year I spent at KW was a year I wasn't building ownership in anything. What about training and support? I want to be fair. Keller Williams does training well, especially for newer agents. Bold, Ignite, productive coaching. If you're brand new and you need in-person structure, KW can be a great place to learn. But once you're producing, once you know how to run your business, you're paying a premium for training you stopped using years ago. At Real, the training is online through Real Academy and Workplace. It's available anytime. And honestly, the collaboration at Real is better than anything I experienced at KW. Not because the people are smarter, because the financial model aligns everyone. At KW, the top agent in your office is your competitor. They don't share their playbook because you might take their listing. At Real, we're all stockholders. If you win, the stock goes up and I win. So actually, I want to help you. That changes everything about how agents interact with each other. Who should stay at KW? I'm not going to tell you everyone should leave. That's not honest. If you're brand new and you need in-person mentorship, a good KW office can be valuable. If you're doing very low volume, the savings might not be dramatic enough to justify the move. If you genuinely love your specific office and you're not motivated by long-term wealth building, stay where you're happy. But if you're producing 15, 20, 30 deals a year, if you're capping every year, if you're self-sufficient, the math strongly favors Real. It's not even close. What I tell my former self, here's the thing I wish someone had told me when I was at KW. You are a 1099 independent contractor. You are in business for yourself. You have to hang your license somewhere. But that doesn't mean you owe loyalty to a brokerage model that's looking out for its bottom line and not yours. These brokerages are not looking out for you and your business. They're looking out for their business. So instead of being loyal to their model, be loyal to your own model. Be loyal to your family. Be loyal to your future. Hang your license somewhere that supports what you're building. Run your actual P&L. Look at what you paid KW last year in splits, cap, royalty, desk fees, transaction fees. Write that number down. Then look at what you would have paid at Real. The gap is probably bigger than you think. And every year you wait is another year that gap compounds. I waited longer than I should have, and it costs me. I don't want the same thing to happen to you. If you're a KW agent and this video made you think, subscribe. I put out new breakdowns every week showing you the real math behind brokerage models so you can stop guessing and start knowing exactly where your money goes. No hype, no pressure, just numbers, honest stories, and the education this industry doesn't want you to have. I'll see you in the next one.